In this video, I'll be showing you my favorite art tools for this year. There will be some overlap from last year. I've started using some new mediums and I can't wait to share them with you. If you're new to my corner of the internet, hi, I'm Elaine, a mixed media illustrator and a textile designer. I mostly show my work on Instagram, so if you found me there and you've been curious about my favorite art tools, then this is the video for you. Next time you go to the art store, you won't feel overwhelmed or sidetracked because in this video, I'll share all the art tools I beeline for. Everything that I'm about to show you is all linked below, and at the very end, I'll show you how to get even more art resources like my camera, my scanners, and my printers. Also, this entire video is not sponsored by any brand. These are my honest favorites, and I'll even be recommending some small businesses that I like using. Alright, let me break down the video into 3 parts. We will cover my favorite dry mediums, wet mediums, paper, and sketchbooks. So without further ado, let's get started with dry mediums. I love using dry mediums for its texture and its childlike charm. First, let's start with pens. These are micron pens. Their tips come in a wide range of weights and occasionally I use them for line art. 3 of my favorite weights are the 03, 05, and 08. And here's a swatch sample for you to see some of the pen weights. The nice thing about these pens is that they're waterproof so you can watercolor over it. They're also great for lettering and they don't smudge or bleed. For underdrawings, I like to use a hard pencil like the Staedtler H pencil because the lines are very light and hardly noticeable. And then other times I like to use this Faber-Castell watercolor pencil. Watercolor pencils are great if you're painting because the pencil can blend nicely into your paint. Next, this is a kneaded eraser. What's nice about it is that it can erase without any eraser dust. I like using this eraser to clean up my underdrawing lines. Next, let's talk about white mediums I like to use for highlights. So these are white jelly roll pens. These sizes 01, 05, and 08 are good to use for when you want to add small white detail on a dark painted surface. I like to use this over my gouache paint. Also, I would recommend white Posca paint markers. They have different tip weights and they work almost like paint. Lastly, this isn't a dry medium, but I felt this white acrylic ink made more sense in this section. I use this white acrylic ink when I want to layer on a very opaque white. Now let's discuss colored pencils, a favorite medium that I get asked about a lot. I use permanent oil-based colored pencils because they adhere to dried gouache paint really well. I love creating texture in my artwork and I feel colored pencils helps me achieve that. So the 3 colored pencil lines I would recommend are the Faber-Castell Polychromos, the Caran d'Ache Pablo pencils, and the Caran d'Ache Luminance pencils. Here's a swatch sample for you to see. So the Pablos are oil-based pencils, apply smoothly, and the lead is harder. The Luminance is wax and oil mixed, the lead is softer. It creates more pencil dust when you're using them, but the end result can look finer than the Pablos. And then the Polychromos has the hardest lead of them all and is oil-based, also a nice colored pencil. And here's a list of my most used Caran d'Ache colored pencils so you can grab them separately without purchasing the entire set. Now let's move on to the next most asked about art medium, watercolor pastels. These are the Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2 watercolor pastels. They are intensely saturated and versatile wax crayons that can be used for drawing and painting. I just started playing with these crayons this year and I really love using them. I feel like I'm Steve from Blue's Clues and my style becomes more playful while using this crayon. The only thing is that they break easily. When I first started trying these out, I grabbed a couple of my favorite colors instead of buying the whole set. So here are my most used colors so far that you can also grab to try out. Now let's move on to my favorite wet mediums, starting with gouache. So I mainly use gouache paint in my work. I love it for its versatility. I think people commonly mistake my paintings for watercolor, but that's what's lovely about gouache paint. If gouache is used with more water, it's similar to watercolor, and with less water, then it's more like acrylic paint with a matte finish. So like if watercolor and acrylic had a child, then it would be gouache. So I would recommend Holbein, Winsor & Newton, and Sweet Gouache. These are high quality gouache paints with amazing traditional gouache consistency and superb light fastness. However, an affordable option that I would recommend for beginner would be Arteza Gouache. The sets are very budget friendly and there are lots of color options. Okay, also I get questions about my DIY gouache palette. So I made the palette to travel with last year. Some of these pans are paint squeezed from the tube and the others are colors that I've mixed myself. However, I'd like to warn you that when gouache dries, it may not apply as creamy and opaque as it does when it is freshly squeezed out of the tube. Personally, I don't mind using my gouache watered down, and that's why I let my paint dry, and then when I'm using it, I simply reactivate it with a spray bottle of water. But again, if your painting style is very bold, painterly, and opaque, then I'd recommend you use gouache straight from the tube. Also, a small business shout out. Sui Gouache is handmade by a very talented young artist, Sui, who is based in Korea. She mixes very aesthetically pleasing pre-mixed paint colors, so I totally recommend you check her brand out. Next, let me show you a fixative you can use to waterproof your paintings. This is Dorland's Wax, is a durable waterproof finish you can apply with a palette knife or a lint-free cloth. This wax protects your painting against moisture, smudging, dust, and fingerprints in case you plan on selling your original piece or framing it. This wax is also a great option to seal a variety of mediums. Next, let's talk about watercolor. What I love about watercolor is that it's a very translucent, soft, and fluid medium. Depending on how I want to portray my subject, I sometimes turn to watercolor because it spreads easily and is so fun to manipulate on a wet surface. So the watercolor brand I use is these Holbein watercolors from these tubes. They are highly pigmented and of very lovely quality. I've also dried some out on this palette as well because watercolor can be used perfectly dried or from a tube. But here's another small business shout out. This watercolor palette was a collaboration I did with Letter Sparrow. Kelly is the talented artisan behind these handmade watercolors and is based in the States. Go check her out for some fine seasonal watercolors. Also, if you like to learn how to mix your own paint colors, then here's an ebook I wrote to help artists get over the fear of mixing their own color palettes. This color recipes ebook includes well over 100 color formulas written simply for easy understanding so that you can start experimenting, practicing, and mixing your own color palettes right away. Next, let's discuss paint palettes or paint trays. I have a variety of ceramic, plastic, and acrylic paint trays, so if you like using gouache like me, then I would recommend going with ceramic paint trays like these rather than the plastic paint trays. The reason is that I've found that gouache paint dries flaky and crumbly in plastic palettes, which can be kind of messy while you're storing them away. Here you can see how it's not flaky on the porcelain palette. Alright, another small business shout out. These are beautiful paint palettes made by Candace Fincher. She hand makes and paints these lovely willow palettes and more. So check her out. All these artists and brands are linked below. Next up is paint brushes. So the brushes I use for watercolor and gouache are different. For gouache I tend to look for stiffer bristles. You can test if the bristles are stiff with a flick test. It's a stiffer brush when it whips back to shape quickly. These are also synthetic brushes. I would recommend Winsor & Newton's Cotman brushes and Etcher's Gouache brush set. While you can also buy much cheaper synthetic brushes, over time they will break faster. But still, it's fine. I started off using Michael's paint brushes before I upgraded. For watercolor, I feel like the brushes can get expensive. Paint brushes with softer bristles for looser watercolor paintings may contain animal fibers. These water paint brushes have a bigger belly so it can hold a lot more water and paint. This is how some artists achieve very free and flowy movements with their watercolor paintings. So this is the brush cleaner that I use. I run my brush through some warm water and I use the soap to clean off the bristles. It helps take out stubborn dried paint and it helps the paintbrush revert back to its original shape. Alright, now let's move on to the last section, my favorite brands of paper and sketchbooks. I mainly use watercolor paper and here are several brands that I enjoy using. The price range of these papers vary. 100% cotton watercolor paper tend to be the priciest, then there's 50% cotton and 50% cellulose, and then there's 100% cellulose or wood pulp paper. The reason watercolorists enjoy using cotton paper is because the paper stays wet longer, allowing the artist more time to use wet on wet techniques versus when using cellulose paper, the paper dries way quicker between layers. This is totally up to the artist's preferences and painting style. Also, watercolor paper can be either cold pressed or hot pressed. Here you can see the difference. The cold pressed paper has a rough textured finish while the hot pressed paper has a fine, almost smooth finish. I prefer using hot pressed watercolor paper with at least 50% cotton in the composition because I find it works the best with my painting style. Lastly, let's discuss sketchbook favorites. I'm a mixed media artist, so I mainly look for thicker paper in sketchbooks with preferably some cotton composition. Many of you already know that I used to be a big fan of Stillman and Byrne. It's a no-frill sketchbook, and I really liked it because of the extra thick paper weight and that it could handle mixed media pretty well. But since the paper is only cellulose, it is possible to overwork the surface with wet media and damage the paper. Next, this is Etcher's Perfect Sketchbook, which is composed of 100% cotton watercolor paper. The paper is a very high quality paper and it is great for true watercolor artists. Now this is not a sketchbook, but it is a watercolor bullet journal. This sketchbook was innovated by the small business My Mellow Days. Cynthia and Simon is a lovely husband and wife artist team that resides in France and loves illustrated journaling. They specially designed this watercolor bullet journal for artsy bourgeoists. Lastly, shameless plug I guess, but it is my absolute favorite sketchbook. I designed this drawing diary sketchbook for mixed media artists. This sketchbook project was funded on Kickstarter earlier this year. The paper is 50% cotton with a fine finish. There is just enough tooth for colored pencils and art pastels. And like we discussed earlier, the cotton fibers in this paper makes it work well for wet mediums, but also it being 50% cellulose makes it dry faster between layers. It has 200 GSM thick paper, so your art won't show through the other page. And its square shape makes it versatile for landscape illustrations, and the size makes it easy to carry around on any adventure. And as promised, I compiled a PDF with even more art resources that weren't mentioned in this video. Even the tech I use, such as my camera, printer, and scanner, is in this PDF. It's free if you're wondering, so grab that art resources PDF in the link below. And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you next time.